Hello, hello, hello. My name is Shek. How are you doing today? So I want to touch on something that's quite close to home. As you know, I'm an Arsenal fan, so anything that goes on within that club, I'm quite invested in, and I follow the story quite closely. But this is a subject that kind of divides opinion amongst me and my friends, amongst other Arsenal fans, amongst football fans in general, and just even amongst the media. Now, this is in regards to Aaron Ramsdale and the treatment of him by Mikel Arteta. Now, as you know, that David Raya was brought in the transfer window, and the initial statement was by Arteta is that he'll be rotating goalkeepers. But as time has moved on, we have realised that he's been replaced as an Aaron Ramsdale. So now Aaron Ramsdale has gone from being our bona fide number one after 2 straight seasons, having very successful seasons as well. In my opinion, I feel like he is one of the best keepers in the league in a minute, if not top 3 or even top 2, maybe. That's debatable. Whichever one you think, you can leave in the comments. If you completely disagree with me and think he's rubbish, then please let me know as well. But yeah, I think the situation is a little bit of bullshit, really. I mean, in my opinion, as an Arsenal fan, that's had some issues with Arteta. Let's leave it at that. I mean, when I say issues, I don't mean I believe he's a bad manager or anything like that. Absolutely not. But in the beginning, I wasn't sold by him. And those that know me know that's the case. And those that have followed my Instagram for these past couple of years would know how I felt, how he was doing in the initial stages of his Arsenal career. But nevertheless, I feel like I've been proven wrong. And I've been happily being proven wrong. And I feel like he's one of the best up-and-coming managers in Europe right now, and we're very lucky to have him. So yes, I did have my critics about Arteta in the beginning, but now I don't. Now basically what I'm saying is that I trust the process. So I'm more Arteta in than Arteta out. But anyway, this whole situation regarding David Raya and Aaron Ramsdale's position as who's number 1 keeper at the club, I just feel like it's a little bit of bullshit. Because personally, I know football is not about... In order to be successful, football is not really about sentiment. You've got to leave emotion aside and do what's best for the team and do what you think is best for yourself as a manager, ultimately. Because at the end of the day, Arteta's got to look at it like, in a sense where he's got to deliver success. So he needs to make any necessary moves or changes in order to deliver that success. And if we end up lifting the title or winning the Champions League, who can say he's wrong? Well, nobody really. But I feel like in this situation, it is a little bit too ruthless, if that makes any sense. I know people will look back at this and push back on it completely and say, you're just being sentimental about the situation and whatnot. But I personally feel that Aaron Ramsdale was owed a little bit more loyalty by Arteta, seeing as how good he has been these past couple of seasons. And let's not forget, he is an Arteta signing. Arteta ruthlessly brought him in, if you remember, as ruthlessly as he's dropped him. Because remember, Bert Leno was our first choice keeper. And fans were happy with him. No one thought he was a dodgy keeper. No one thought he was bad or anything like that. No one thought he made any glaring mistakes that have led to goals. He wasn't the best of his feet. But he brought Aaron Ramsdale in. It kind of came out of nowhere. Everyone was kind of shocked because he'd just been relegated. He just suffered back-to-back relegations with Bournemouth and Sheffield United. But he brought him in, and Aaron Ramsdale was being a resounding success, in my opinion. But the way that was done was quite ruthless towards Leno. So this is a trending pattern, if you want to call it that. But I feel that Aaron Ramsdale, he warranted a little bit more than what he's got in this whole situation. Because I feel like he was part of the key cogs that allowed us to be challenging for the title last year. I think without Aaron Ramsdale, we wouldn't have pushed City to the end. if you want to call it that. And I don't feel like his performances warranted him to be replaced, or for Arteta to look at him and think, you know what, I need something better. Because I think like I said, I think he's been brilliant. I think if we're looking at fine margins, you can make a case for David Raya being slightly ahead of Aaron Ramsdale at this point in time, or being a slightly better keeper. But like I just said, it's fine margins. After what I've seen from David Raya, I'm not denying he's possibly a better keeper, like better with his feet and all of that, but I don't think the margins are that big for him to completely replace Aaron Ramsdale as our number one keeper. So I feel like it is a little bit, it is harsh. It is really harsh. It's kind of brutal, because Aaron Ramsdale came out today and he said, yeah, obviously it does bother him. He's no longer number one. And it kind of seems like he didn't really see this coming. And you can imagine how it's affected him mentally, because Aaron Ramsdale has gone from being bona fide number one to being replaced as a number two pretty much out of nowhere. Let's be honest. Like, no one looked at the end of last season and thought, yeah, we need a new keeper. This is where we need to strengthen. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can understand if Aaron Ramsdale's feeling a little bit aggrieved by that, but that's football. But me personally, I haven't seen too many margins. I haven't seen a big gap between the two, put it that way. I haven't looked at Raya and said, yeah, okay, now I understand. He's a complete different level above Ramsdale. There was a training video when Raya first came and he was catching the shots when he was saving them, whilst Ramsdale was more spinning them. And I did kind of look at that and I thought, like, yeah, maybe I kind of like everyone probably did at that point. But since don't get me wrong, Raya's been great since he's come in. He had a dodgy spell in the last game that we played against Manchester City, but other than that, he had kind of a dodgy little spell in the game against Lons, but not enough to make any like glaring, not enough to ring any alarm bells, put it that way. Yeah, he's looked solid. He's looked solid, to tell the truth. But then again, so has Ramsdale. I haven't looked at Ramsdale. I haven't looked at anything that Raya has done and thought, other than having like slightly better distribution of the ball, I haven't looked at David Raya and thought, yeah, he is a level above Ramsdale. I haven't. I mean, Raya's been getting praised for making certain saves. I think there's that save in the Tottenham game, if you remember correctly, when he scurried across and like got his hands to, I can't remember who shot. I think it might have been Richarlison or something like that. Well, you know the save I'm talking about. Obviously at the time everyone was going nuts and everyone was saying it was what an amazing save, and yes it was, but let's not pretend like we haven't seen Ramsdale making them saves as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just feel like the margins between the two aren't great enough for Ramsdale to just be replaced just like that. And it's a sad situation, isn't it? Because he's more than likely going to leave, and he's built up a rapport with the fans, and his family seems to have built up a rapport with the fans also, and he seems to really love the club. And he just signed a new contract, let's not forget. Which is another thing I don't understand, is because at the time when Ramsdale was negotiating his contract, Arteta would have known that he's had thoughts of bringing another keeper in. So was it a situation where Ramsdale wasn't fully informed about what was going to happen? Because I'm sure if he did, he wouldn't sign a contract. I mean, I wouldn't personally. If my number one, my spot on the team was under any kind of threat, I'd have to rethink it. I'd have to see who they're bringing in. I'd have to see my chances against, see what my chances are against that person. But then again, he probably did. He probably knew what the situation was, and he's probably ready for the battle. I don't know, but the thing I don't like about what Arteta done is when he said that he's going to be rotating. And I kind of don't think he went about it the right way, because he said there was a game where he wanted to sub Ramsdale. And when he said that, I kind of thought, all right, this is where the management part has to be questioned, because it's like, what's that going to do for Ramsdale's confidence? Like, and this is when you are on the verge of bringing another keeper in. I just felt it's just a little bit, yeah, I mean, I've questioned Arteta's management before, and sometimes it isn't great. It isn't, in my opinion. You might disagree with me, but I don't think, yeah, I think if there's an area where, like, listen, he's done brilliantly in these last couple of years or 18 months or whatnot. He's clearly a very strong tactician. But yeah, I have questioned his management at times, and I feel like this is another example of management that could be improved on it. Maybe because he's still a young manager, innit? So you're probably these are probably things that you develop later on as you develop in management. Just like in anything in life, whatever you do, you learn as you go along. You pick up things and you get better at it. You identify your mistakes and you move on and you use it to improve. Obviously, that's just life in general. In whatever job you got, in whatever job you have. But yeah, I wasn't really thrilled in the management side of things. I feel like the comments he made could have been a little bit, I think he could have reviewed them a bit better. I feel like he's not really done anything for Ramsdale's confidence. And again, to be honest, it kind of looks like he'll be willing to let Ramsdale go. He knows Ramsdale is a top keeper. He's an England international. He's not going to hang about for too long. He knows that. So it's just, yeah, he's just being replaced. I mean, the world is a tough place, and football seems like an even tougher place than that. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on the situation. That's not really something I'm particularly thrilled about. Don't get me wrong, if we're successful, we win Champions League or league title, whatever, I'm going to be happy and ecstatic and not even remember I made this video. But yeah, just from a human side, well, I ain't going to say human point of view, because that's making it out like I think Arteta is a bad person or anything like that. But yeah, I just didn't like the way the situation was handled, if I'm being perfectly and completely honest. But that's just my thoughts as an Arsenal fan, as a passionate Arsenal fan. And yeah, man, life is tough. Sometimes things happen when you just don't expect it to happen, and things come at you fast, innit? Let that be a lesson. But anyway, yeah, just sharing my thoughts, just thinking out loud, really. If you like the video, please let me know. Give it a like. See, I'm still new to this. I don't even know what to say. But yeah, give it a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you soon.